Hello learners. In previous videos, we saw how we can input the values using input box method and give output using message box. But most of the time while working with Excel, we don't use input box and message box. What we actually use is sheets and cells. So for example, we want to add two numbers which are there on different cells of worksheet, and we want to add them and print the result in some other cell. So in this video we'll see how we can access the numbers or the values which are there on the cells in different sheets, and how we can write or modify those values. Okay, so let's get started. We'll start with a subroutine. Let's call it read val, since we are going to read values from Excel. So when we try to read any value from any sheet or from any particular cell, we have to go through a hierarchy, and that hierarchy comes like we have to first supply the name of workbook, then the name of sheet, and then the cell address. So for example, if I want to read the cell value, so first of all let's put some value here. Let's say we put hi word. Now go back to Visual Basic Editor. Now what we'll do is we'll try to read the value which is there on sheet 1 in book 1. So we'll first supply the name of the workbook. The first function would be workbooks, and in this we have to provide the name of workbook, which is book 1 in this case. Dot, after workbooks in the hierarchy there comes sheets. Now we have to supply the name of the sheet, which is sheet 1 in our case. We can type in or we can just copy it. Now we have supplied the name of sheet. Now what we want to do is we want to read the value from this cell. And what is the address of this cell? This cell is an intersection of first row and first column. So we can say cell row number 1 comma column number 1. So this is how we can access the value. Now the same way we were storing the value of the input box into variables, we have to store this value somewhere so that we can use it later on. So let's say we call it var1. Now what would happen is the value from this workbook, this sheet, and this cell would go into this variable. Now if we just use message box function to display this value, we'll use this. Now let's try. There is some problem. Okay, this should be cells. Okay, let's change this value and try once again. Hello world. This time we'll run it from here. So this is how we can read a value from a particular cell of a particular sheet in a particular workbook. That's all for this video. In next video we'll see how we can write values to the different cells. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.